The T100 season so far has been kind of mind-blowing. We've seen lifetime performances, let's just call them that for now.
She'll walk across and grab the banner. India Lee wins.
Yuri's performance stands out.
The most impressive performance in Yuri Kulin's young career. Wow. The biggest win of his career. He collapses.
You know, Magnus has finally come and won a race.
The first ever winner of the T100. And it goes to Magnus Ditlev.
Who could forget Ashley Gentle closing a 4-and-a-bit minute gap in Singapore? It shows that the level of racing is increasing, and it's probably a good time to have retired. Top 20 athletes who we have, probably 10 of them are disappointed that they haven't won a race yet. Everybody on the tour has made a name for themselves. Starting to see how difficult it is to perform consistently. I think most vocal about it was probably Sam Laidlow. Looking at the women's side of things, we haven't really seen all the top contenders together in one race yet. So this is where I'm very, very excited to see, you know, kind of everyone go head to head. I think it can be some very, very exciting racing left to come.
In the shadows of the Golden Gate Bridge and to the imposing backdrop of the world's most notorious prison, the T100 has landed in San Francisco. In one of the world's most iconic cities, we have all the ingredients for a truly iconic race. Welcome to Escape from Alcatraz. Expect the unexpected and embrace the drama. This is T100, where it's par for the course.
Welcome to the T100. How does it feel to be sat here 2 days out from your first race?
I'm super excited, but also a little bit nervous. Yeah, they've never had me part of one of these big races, so I think I'm maybe more of an unknown to them, and maybe that's what makes them a little bit nervous and a little bit like, yeah, not knowing what to expect from me.
It's maybe the first time though that he's racing in a super competitive field on this distance. We'll see how well he does in a race where he gets like pushed to the limit the entire day. He's kind of the complete athlete without any weakness, so he'll be incredibly difficult to beat.
Yeah, I'm excited to race him. It's going to be very motivating, right? Coming out and knowing I've got guys like that up ahead who can push, and that I have to find a way to push harder.
I think Magnus and Sam are maybe the top dogs right now, but I think that Kyle Smith, I think he's going to be one to watch as well here.
I mean, let's be clear, I don't choose to approach the races this way, but I don't have another option. And I think I've been racing for 10 years and I've always come out behind. And so every race is an opportunity to build my mental resilience. And I think it's 10 years of work at that shows now where I am. I did tell the PTO that I need my own personal kayaker / safety boat, because if I'm isolated out there on my own, you know, I want to make sure I can come home to baby Leo.
Well, here we are, the iconic San Francisco Spirit, right next to the prison at Alcatraz, the famous site in triathlon history. And the men are off. We've got 3 men jumping. You can see that the athletes, they're all wearing gloves, booties and thermal caps. That's compulsory today due to the conditions. It's really cold out there.
That is Ben Canute, actually, who wasn't off the front.
Amazingly, we're seeing Sam Long at the very bottom of your screen there with the pink sleeve on his right-hand shoulder. It was a 2-kilometre swim and it took 14 minutes.
That is some serious current behind them there.
Mentally now, for Sam Long, what is he going to do? I think he's probably a kid in a candy shop. He just cannot wait.
It's happened again. Sam Long's got a penalty in transition.
To Vicky's point,
he's left transition 1 without his helmet done up, and he's got a 30-second penalty.
Martin Van Riel pushing the pace. Ooh, this is an interesting move. Magnus Ditlev flying past Sam Long.
As we see Martin Van Riel being overtaken by Sam Long here, he's finally making a move on the bike. We've seen him yo-yo off the back all day.
And now he's going to the front when it actually matters, which is on the very last meters. All right, here we go. Sam Long actually building a nice little gap. You know, these are little seconds, but he's going to have a rest. And in that rest, he's actually allowed to take on nutrition. As we see Mathis Margier, Carl Smith coming in there, Clement Mignon, Rudy von Berg, Rico Bogan, Mika Noot, Martin Van Riel.
Carl Smith is running really well at the moment. We saw him win a race in Chamarine just a couple of weeks ago. The littering zone ends, and so maybe he felt that he was just too close to that.
Well, you want to make sure you don't get disqualified, but I mean, you also want to make sure, you know, he's just basically given his lead away to Martin Van Riel.
Sam Long has chosen to take his 30-second penalty here. Coming out of T2, he was in the lead with Kyle Smith and Martin Van Riel. And
our duo up ahead is about to become a trio, and the battle for these podium.
I mean, Magnus Ditlev right here, he looks like he's in a heat battle. We are heading for the very last lap. 3 guys at the front. And I couldn't tell you who looks good right now. Whoa.
No, after you. Very polite.
Kyle Smith's gone. Rico Bogan, can he hold on?
This is the final corner coming up right now, and Kyle Smith's going to lead into it, but Van Riel is right on his heels.
Kyle Smith's gone.
Kyle Smith is putting down the hammer. Oh my goodness, this is the best finish we have seen.
Rico Bogan's pushing up to Martin Van Riel. Can Martin Van Riel overtake him?
Van Riel's coming.
Oh my God.
And for the first time in 15 kilometres, Martin Van Riel's seen the front of the race. The finish line is inside.
They're side by side.
Kyle Smith, Martin Van Riel. Martin Van Riel's in front. Martin Van Riel, Kyle Smith. Kyle Smith.
Oh my goodness. We are going to need an extra camera angle.
There you go.
Wow.
That's the better
See it
angle
from
to
there.
see it there.
Who would have thought the T100 is going to have to start introducing side cameras at the finish line? I mean, this is stuff you see at 100 meter sprints.
We were telling it before that I maybe hadn't been pushed to my limits in long distance racing, and I'm pretty sure that today I've been pushed to my limits. I mean, we're doing a 3-hour 20 race, and the difference is maybe 0.1 second with Kyle and like 2 seconds or something with Rico. Yeah, that's incredible. That's really nice to be part of that. Yeah, honestly incredible. Like this is the start that I could only dream of. Like now I'm gonna be off to prepare the Olympics and do the Olympics, and after that I'll be back. But with these on the board, I can be like a little bit more like at ease that if I make a mistake or if something happens at the end of the year, that it won't like completely ruin my ranking. So to have this on the board already, it's very important, because otherwise everyone would be flying away in the points in the leaderboard.
Kind of cat and mousing for the last 10k of the run. So it's actually quite fun, and the run went super fast. And yeah, I knew with about 4k to go, I knew it was going to come down to a sprint finish. So just had to prepare for that. I just knew I had to keep patient, and I knew I wanted to lead coming into the corner by transition. And I did, and you know, obviously we became a sprint between Martin and I, and yeah, Martin got it in the end, the better guy won. I was thinking about diving, but I think he had, you know, even if I dove, he still would have won. So yeah, he just had it over me. He was carrying too much speed. This is a sport for 20 of the best athletes in the world, and I wasn't one of them last year. And so yeah, this year to obviously be given the opportunity to get a wild card and prove myself, and you know, put my hat in the ring for next year's series is massive for me, and just more to prove to myself that, you know, I belong here and I belong at the top of the sport.
In terms of your health and fitness, from what I've seen in races, you're back to being 100%.
Yeah, I hope so. A lot better than Miami, that's for sure.
She has had a history at this track before as well. She's had a very, very dark incident happen here a few years ago with heat stroke and dehydration, and apparently we're hearing that she
was loaded onto a stretcher and put into the ambulance.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's been like a roller coaster of a year already. Like we're not even halfway through, and yeah, we've had some highs and some lows, and yeah, I guess it's all part of the journey, and it's been definitely an exciting start to the season. I kind of almost need to prove myself. Yeah, I'm a contracted athlete and I have no points, so I definitely feel the pressure. I have a DNF and I didn't go to Singapore, so I've seen a lot of girls kind of get their points and climb, and it was actually really exciting and motivating watching Singapore, and you want to be a part of it, and I think that was kind of the hunger I needed to sit there and do my training whilst watching it and be like, okay, this is fuel for Alcatraz.
Do you feel a little bit late to the party, or just excited to get going?
Well, I'm excited to get going, and I feel early. I want to be here. I'm just excited to be here and grateful for everything the T100 is doing.
I think it was Ash as well who looked at what you did at Oceanside and said, how can you not look at what Taylor has been doing? When other athletes talk about you like that, how do you react?
Well, I don't hear what other athletes talk about me, so that's just the best thing. If people are going to talk, they're going to talk, but at the end of the day, like, I'm just living my life.
Where did that confidence come from? Because you're still so young.
Well, I think on some level, like, you have to care. We have, as humans, we have a deep internal desire to be liked. I don't know if it's confidence. I don't know if it's maybe just a bit of ignorance, like being so focused on what I want to do and what I like to do, and knowing that there's still so much I have to improve, and just focusing on that. I could get absolutely crushed this weekend in San Francisco, and you just kind of move on and you learn, and you can learn more from your losses than your wins. So even though they're tougher, like the challenges, we like to do challenging things in this sport.
Thank you, Taylor.
Oh, goodness.
Entertaining as always.
Oh goodness, I just hope there's no arrogance in there.
And the women are in the starters' hands now. They could start at any time. And it's just so weird seeing them in the full thermals. And we've got all dives, but about 4 didn't.
This
Imogen
is
Simmons, I think.
incredibly interesting. So Imogen Simmons is on a very, very different line to Taylor Knibb.
She's taken the lead by a country mile.
She must have found an undercurrent there for sure.
Quick look back there, maybe she wasn't expecting to see no one in front of her, and in fact everyone, including Taylor Knibb, behind her at this point. This is the unique factor about this course, the swim. It can change things in ways that even we didn't predict, you know.
So Taylor Knibb here running in second. Kat Matthews has worked her way up into third through this long transition run. Laura Phillips there right with her in India lead.
And Taylor Knibb making short work of catching Imogen Simmons here. You can see the pace difference is quite phenomenal, as these athletes are told to stay left and be passed on the right. But, oh my gosh, Taylor Knibb is
she's
making this look rather amazing. This is the first time.
She's just an exceptional athlete. I don't know if I have enough superlatives to talk about what Taylor Knibb has done. She's still so young.
Oh
no, you're kidding. You're kidding me. Please, not again.
She's dropped her chain.
Oh.
And the chain's back on now.
Okay, that was pretty swift. Not ideal, but pretty swift, as we see Laura Philipp round that U-turn. She's just going to overtake her as they get onto the bikes here. But yes, that's unideal, but she did deal with that pretty fast.
Another long shot of Taylor Knibb and...
no one else.
No one. And there's going to be no one for a long time. I mean, this is a time trial masterclass.
Yeah, Taylor Knibb's not going to have too much company in transition, is she? She's going to be long gone before we see the next athlete.
So we've got Taylor Knibb leading the race. She's about 4.5 minutes, getting closer to 4 minutes ahead of Kat Matthews in second. They're running very, very similar paces. So we've got Emma Pallant-Brown in fifth. She's moving through the field. She's running fast, but funnily enough, Taylor Knibb running faster than her, which not many people would have expected.
I think this young lady, once the Paris Olympics is done, we're going to see a lot more of her in this series. And she's an exciting athlete to watch.
Taylor Knibb is proving to the world, to herself, to everyone watching today, she is the best athlete in the world over the T100 distance, and she has completely dominated from start to finish today. Taylor Knibb, our T100 San Francisco champion, there are no words. She's stoked with this race. She's fist pumping the air. She couldn't be happier. What a race from Kat Matthews, second place today at T100 San Francisco. I don't know if many people expected this from Laura Philipp today, but she's proving to the world again she is versatile. She can perform over any distance, over any course, and today, the brutal conditions of San Francisco, Laura Philipp, well done.
Did you have to try in there?
Are you kidding me? I had a very detailed, essentially bike plan that my coach gave me, both in terms of RPE and watts, and just kind of like adapt based on how I'm feeling. And so I followed that, and it just worked out.
Did you expect to win by that margin?
No, I did not expect to win. I didn't expect to win by that margin. So I'm just grateful. I wanted this as just kind of to see where I am before the back half of the year, because I won't be able to be in London probably.
Be brave, don't think about it, swim. Thrash the arms around a bit, try and sight, try and breathe. And then I couldn't believe to be in a great position in the swim, to be honest, and then gave it a lot on the hills, more than I felt comfy doing. Built into the descents a little bit, took the first lap cautiously, and then hopefully really, I'm waffling. And then I ran really hard. It was good, that's it. I mean, to be honest, my coach was like, you can probably outride everyone except Taylor. So it was, there was a bit of a confidence there before the race. And this sort of course, I really think that I love climbing properly and hard. I'm stoked for the series.
That was nuts. How good was that race? Of course, Taylor Knibb was on a different galaxy. Very, very impressive.
but the boys race, that finish. Just rolling punches, going again. And really impressive. Martin, like under pressure, first time, like you don't know what's gonna happen. And my man Kyle, 100K decided by 20 millimeters. How good. But Kyle again, like in Singapore, first time top 5, first time on the podium, and so close. So I think it's going to be exciting for races to come. It's tough, you know, and the saying goes, you're only as good as your last race. But I think Ash, it was such an outlier of a performance. She doesn't have to worry too much. You know, it's just, she just had a bad day. We've got a whole season building and so many good races coming. And that's what you want to see, you know, depth of field competition. It's the best of the best. It's not like, you know, previously it felt like triathlon was more like boxing. You know, there was kind of every league and you never really knew who was the best. And T100 is bringing everyone together.
London, one of the world's greatest cities, welcomes some of the world's toughest athletes. Superhuman is standard in T100. Another day in the Hertz Arena for a stellar cast, led out by the sensational Annie Howe.
Challenge Roth, she was faultless in that race.
Well, this is one of the greatest runners we've ever seen in the sport.
30 seconds made up in the first K by Ash Gentle.
Lucy Charles-Barclay, she does not mess around at the start.
She's going to be able to tell that she's bridging that gap to Lucy Charles-Barclay. Her first ever T100 World Tour Series victory.
What does this woman have to do to get first place at one of these races? Second again.
Annie Howe, Ash Gentle and Lucy Charles-Barclay, just 3 of the headliners in a field of challengers and champions. But the big question in London, has the time come for LCB to move from challenger to champion herself? How are you feeling?
Yeah, really happy. It's a home race. Like, I literally live 20 minutes away, so it's so nice to kind of have the home comforts before a race. It's really unusual. I don't think the last time I raced on home soil was probably back when I was a swimmer in 2011. I actually raced in these docks, so I think I stayed in this hotel actually. So it feels a little bit familiar, but I've never really raced that much on home soil, certainly not at this level. I did a little bit back when I was an age grouper racing around Hyde Park, but this is really exciting. Home crowd, home soil, yeah, I can't wait for it. Yeah, I've had a few races where I feel like I've been able to show how strong that run is, but maybe not on a T100 race yet. But I think there'll be a hell of a lot of emotion if I got the tape on a Saturday here on home soil, so we'll have to wait and see, but I think whatever happens, it's going to be a really special race.
Tell me about the aftermath of San Fran.
My hamstring after the race, like, I was a little bit sore going in, and I think running, being so cold didn't help that, but that settled down super quickly, and then it was just a little bit of a calf niggle. Of course, it's super disappointing to get just absolutely obliterated like that. Like, that's not fun. I respect my competitors a lot, but it doesn't mean that I like to get beaten by that many minutes by anyone. Like, it's a horrible feeling. I could have gone all day, but I couldn't go fast enough. And if you're in a T100 race, you need to be able to go fast. And kind of crossed the line, and it was just such a unsatisfying feeling, like terrible. I didn't show what I have been training for, so I'm going to be absolutely like buckled over when I cross the line in London, because I'm so determined to be able to push my body like I know that I can. Well, yeah, I think the swim here will be a lot different than San Francisco. There'll definitely be actual gaps, unless Lucy Charles-Barclay decides to do backstroke. She's going to be out in front, most likely with Sophie Codwell, who is a wild card and, you know, an exceptional swimmer.
Yeah, people were like, oh, you know, you could go and do a 70.3 somewhere else over here, and I was a bit like, well, if you want to do it, you kind of got to do, like, this is where it's at, isn't it, really? I think, like, coming from the ITU and, like, knowing where my strengths are, like, I hope that I swim well. Obviously, like, Lucy's in the field and you know how she's going to swim, so if I could kind of try and stick with her for it, like, that would be a good start for the race. For me, a lot of it's like unknown. Like, I've never ridden a TT bike until 2 weeks ago. I might get an hour in, I might get halfway in and think, this is fine, and then all of a sudden my back starts really hurting. All these things I just don't know. And similar on the run, like, I've never raced for anything more than 10K. Like, I've never done a half marathon, like, fresh, let alone doing anything remotely longer off a bike. So I've kind of like obviously got an idea of what I'm going to try and do, but in all honesty, it's kind of race what's in front of you, and if you blow up, you blow up. Like at least you know what I mean.
In London, the women's field is in the water and underway.
And we are racing. 100 kilometres to go in the T100 London, fourth stop of the T100 World Tour this year.
You know, Lucy Charles-Barclay has definitely stated her intent.
You just saw Sophie Caldwell took a good look. You don't really get to tell who's where and how far ahead of you are. It's quite difficult.
Look at all the fans there. It's great to see so many people come out to support them, and to have two British athletes come out first and second out of the swim.
It's already been almost a minute and no sign of the chasers coming into T1. I think we need to see an alliance formed here for either one of these ladies to have their best race today. Kat Matthews is the clear leader of this group. Laura Phillips in there, Amelia Watkinson's in there, Lisa Norden's in there, all strong time trials in their own right.
At the moment, it looks like Lucy could be caught on the bike for the first time. She's gone right past this group, who we actually thought were moving fastest on course.
Kat Matthews in 2024, to me, seems like an athlete who has finally got her physiology back to a place where she can start racing really, really tactically.
Big mover on that list right now, as you mentioned, is Imogen Simmons, as she's just done the overtake on Sophie Caldwell, so she is now in her own right into second position there, just behind Lucy Charles-Barclay, as we see Imogen Simmons go straight past Lucy Charles-Barclay.
She is into her run shoes, like all athletes these days, choosing carbon shoes.
She doesn't look like she's just obliterated the field over 80 kilometres in perfect time trial position. She looks smooth and fresh.
So we've got Ash Gentle here, 1 minute and 55 seconds down at the end of the bike into T2. Who is going to have the legs on today's run? It's 25 degrees, it's about 50% humidity. Right now, early into the bike, Imogen Simmons is flying.
You know, Lucy Charles-Barclay does look to me like she's running a little bit better than she was in those first few metres out of transition, but she's holding her shoulders quite high. You know, she's holding a bit of tension there, so she needs to relax those a little bit, I think, to find a bit more free speed as she continues through the run.
Yeah, she doesn't look like she's easing along.
Yeah, she's currently run the first kilometre in 3 minutes 39 seconds, and we know with Ash, when she's absolutely flying and when she's firing and she's really, really on form, she should be around 10 seconds a kilometre faster than that.
Did I miss something? Or did Lucy come past just now?
I don't think we had eyes on her.
All tracking mats are showing that it's Imogen Simmons and then Ash Gentle, and the cameras can't get eyes on her between Ash and Imogen. She's definitely not there, Jan.
And we can't get eyes on her.
We can also confirm at this point that Lucy Charles-Barclay has DNF'd. She is out of the race. There's just sometimes nothing you can do when Ash Gentle is in one of these moods on one of these days. We felt it all week as we see the pass.
And she put her foot down there as well. That wasn't just a, I'm going to go around you. She accelerated. You can see it on her face. She is all business right now. Kat Matthews, who got caught by Laura Phillip. Laura Phillip took half a pace in front of her and Kat Matthews responded. Now we're seeing Kat Matthews come right up past Lucy Byram, and she is about to go into third place out on the course. And
Ash Gentle makes her way into the XL building. Look at her getting the crowd up and about. She's done it. After that poor result in San Fran that ate away for her for the last month, she has finally won another T100 race, her second T100 victory of 2024, the only athlete in 2024 to win 2 T100 titles.
Redemption ? What have you got to say, Ash?
Yeah, that feels pretty good. I'm pretty happy now. I can put San Francisco behind me and just, yeah, that was amazing. I mean, so many people here were cheering and giving me so much support, so that was so painful, but it was actually really enjoyable too.
Well, you are now officially the first person to ever win 2 T100 races. We've had different winners at every other race until now, so you're right at the top of the rankings. Will we see you at the next race?
Yes, definitely. I'm hanging around in Europe to make it easy for myself. I'm not going back to Australia just yet, so yeah, I'll definitely be in Ibiza.
You told us that a top 5 would be spectacular, so pleased, I'm sure.
Honestly, I gave so much effort. I gave absolutely everything I had, and I don't even know how. I just The only thing in my mind was I have to have given everything, finished giving everything. And I feel like me and Laura Philipp have a bit of an ongoing yearly battle, you know, like with both T100 and the long distance scene. So it's really exciting to race.
Talk about this home crowd. Was that a factor in getting you onto the podium today?
Totally. I mean, I did think I can't do this, but then it was just another face, another family member, another best friend, and just they've all come all this way. I felt like everybody out there was cheering for me. So moments when Laura came up behind me, I just really held on to that.
That for me was a career best performance from you. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would agree. In the past, maybe a bit more like hesitant, a bit more cautious, and today I literally was just like, screw it, let's go for it. I think it was a course that suited me quite well.
That, for me, was your best ever run. You look brilliant out there today.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I've been working on my run, but I feel like I'm always working on my run, and like sometimes it translates, sometimes it doesn't. Maybe I got a bit carried away on the bicycle. Honestly, like the other girls are just unreal, and being hunted down by that pack of runners is always a little bit scary, but I'm glad I held off the majority of them.
How have you pressed the buttons of motivation, I suppose, off the back of such an amazing achievement? Has it been easy to do that? Reset, re-go again?
No, for sure. It hasn't been easy, and I don't think it's easy for anyone. If you look at anybody who's won world titles, generally the year like after it, or similar with Olympics, you know. And I guess I just needed time to have a breather. Yeah, I want to try and long-term leave a legacy in the sport itself, and how I do that, I guess, is unclear. But I know that for sure it involves winning big races, and yeah, that's what I'm here to do.
So what are your expectations and hopes coming into this weekend?
Given that it's been a tough season so far, it would just be to have a race that I'm proud of, in the sense that I do similar numbers to what I was doing last year, which I haven't been able to do this year so far on the T100. If I'm being honest, I think that would get me around maybe 5th place, maybe 4th. I really feel the kind of speed of the run has really been turned up a notch this year, but that also means the level's getting higher and higher.
What does the road look like since we last saw you in PTO T100 in Ibiza?
Yeah, I dropped out of the limelight. The ITB is quite a unique injury. It can be within like 1 week. It can heal to like years. So yeah, we're coming up on like a year now of having this thing, and we've tried literally everything. So yeah, we found like something that actually works. Yeah, of course it's been mentally tough, but all injuries are, and I think if you've been out in the sport for a year, I think we've managed it pretty well. So we just kept ourselves busy, and I haven't raced one race, I haven't raced one run race, not cycle, nothing. So I just want to get out there and enjoy the sport for what it is. I love triathlon, and I just want to enjoy it. I think that's you forget sometimes why you do the sport.
Tell me about the race, about the aftermath of that, and how close you put yourself to the edge in Singapore.
Well, people who follow the PTO, who follow me, they know that the last 500 meters for me was kind of a blur. I have to say, a lot of people thought it was like a bit of a show I put on, but no, literally not. Like I saw pictures of me in an ice bath, and it was like me, with all due respect, like giving birth, like laying there in an ice bath, completely in a different world. But I knew that was needed to win a race. And then especially in these conditions, I think Sunday won't be different. Racing the T100 is asking a lot from your body, and as an athlete you need to be like not 100% but 105% on race day, and then still all the odds needs to play in your favor. And in Singapore that happened, and I hope Sunday that will be the same. Yeah, I love competing, and especially on the highest level. But to be honest, if I have to do it tomorrow again without knowing the consequences, I would do it 100% again without even thinking about it.
And we are racing 100 kilometres to go here at T100 London, the 4th stop of the T100 World Tour.
Aaron is certainly putting on the swim of the T100 series. Sam Laidlaw, who we just saw jumping in there, who's obviously an extremely strong swimmer, but I can tell you what, in his mind right now, he's regretting his life choices of coming in and just racing in his swimsuit. Aaron Royal coming out the front, did not manage to extend his lead. Quite the contrary, actually, he's been caught up.
Yeah, so we've seen Aaron Royal lead the boys in. Alistair Brownlee was right there with him. Rico Bogan was behind him. Kyle Smith was there too. Smith and Bogan's training partner, Daniel Backegard, right on their heels. American swimmer Ben Canute, he was there too. Greg Barnaby, Jan Stratman, the German, first time here at the T100 World Tour on debut in that group as well.
Sam is...
We're getting 3.
Fist pumping himself into this one. That's what he does. What's going on here?
I think that's a front flat.
Flat. That is a flat. Magnus Ditlev sitting behind. This is Roth 2023 all over when these two guys rode off the front together. They put about 12 minutes into the pack then.
Fred Fun, the first time he has ever led a T100 race. Sam Long.
Sam Long. Something's
changed off. He's known for being a little aggressive and sometimes angry on course, Jan. We know in his short course days that he was quite notorious for having words to people in groups with him who were maybe not doing the work he thought they should be doing. And
we see Dave McNamee sitting close to Aaron Royal. Alistair coming right past this pack.
Coming to T2, there's a lot of question marks here. How bad is his calf? What kind of run shape is he in?
He's not bothering to put on socks either,
Great.
Which I find is remarkable. So he's gone from everything to nothing in one race.
Rico Bogan and Kyle Smith, once again, they are together, just like San Francisco. Yuri Killen has now slowed down almost to a stop, a very, very slow jog because of a cramp. One person who the conditions do not seem to be affecting is Kyle Smith. He is now only 1 minute behind the leader, Sam Laidlow.
Alistair Brownlee and Peter Heberg, who are still locked in. They've been together pretty much since the very start of this run.
A brave face.
The pain face.
It's more of a pain face rather than brave. This doesn't look brave.
Eyes back on Kyle Smith here in second place, 31 seconds behind. Look, and getting around each other. Sam Long just loves it. He just loves it. He said, come on, get on my hip, and tapped his hip. It's so close.
Keep going. Oh my God, it's right there. Absolutely going to be down to the wire. I mean, Carl right now, he's got to be hoping that Sam's getting a cramp or that something's happening. He's taken 2 seconds out of him.
Like I said, everyone doubts him at this distance. Everyone doubts his consistency. No one believed he would be able to get it right at this distance, and here he is. 500, 400 metres to go, and he's 20 seconds up on Kyle Smith, the big pre-race favourite. Sam Laidlow is hurting, you can see it in his face, but he is holding on for dear life in this battle of attrition with Kyle Smith. For the entire last 5 kilometres, the gap between Sam Laidlow in front and Kyle Smith in second has been 22 seconds. Sam Laidlow looks up at the sky as he does up his tri-suit. He had a calf injury coming in. He can't believe it, Sam Laidlow. What a battle we've seen here today at T100 London. He has held on. He's done the undoable, holding off Kyle Smith, the best runner in the sport right now. Sam Laidlow, you are the champion here. T100 London, your home race. He wanted the win badly today. Second place again.
Not a bad afternoon in London. Felt like my preparation had been a lot better than what I had leading up to San Francisco. And so when Sam went up the road, honestly, I thought, you know, he hasn't been running super well all season, and so I thought that might be similar here today. I wasn't panicking when he went up the road, and obviously he had a day and a half today, and honestly I gave it my everything, and that's all I can ask. Yeah, it's special, I think. Like, yeah, it wasn't on my bingo card in January that I'd be in this position, and yeah, like I say, I'm just loving it. I'm loving everything that's coming with it, and yeah, it's something I obviously dreamed of since I was a kid, to be one of the best in the world. I actually did a speech the day before I left for Singapore, and I said, you know, I'm not the best in the world now, but I'm working every day to be, and yeah, it's so far it's starting to pay off. So yeah, that's I don't really. Everyone keeps saying, do you feel pressure? And I'm like, only in my tires. Like, you know, I don't. Yeah, I'm just loving being here, and yeah, loving being at the races.
Yeah, it was insane because. Yeah, it's been a really rough start to the season. It's always the same with me. It's like when I least expect it and take the pressure off myself, then I kind of really race to my full potential, you know. And with the races I've done so far this season, you start to question everything. You start to question if you're still doing the right thing, if you're training well. Like, so you start questioning everything. If you've got the right coach, you got yeah. So that's where I was at before this race. So yeah, I really needed this one. It means a lot. I didn't mind losing to Carl because he's such a nice guy, and but then I kind of had to keep like saying, nah, Sam, you need to win it, you know. So yeah, I think Carl won't be long before he wins one. Let's say that last kind of 2K was purely like emotion, you know, that got me to the finish line, and I knew there was my whole family here, and a lot of good old friends. So yeah, it meant a lot to win this one.